All right, welcome in everyone to another deep dive.
Yeah, always exciting to jump into these texts and see what we can uncover.
Yeah, this one comes straight from a listener, and it's Psalm 15 from the New Living Translation on YouVersion.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so, the world can be a really confusing place sometimes, right? And this psalm, even though it's so old, it really gets to the heart of what it means to live with integrity. Who can really stand before God? What kind of person is that?
Right, like it's asking us to look inwards, not just at our outward actions, but at the very core of who we are.
Exactly. So we're going to dig into all of that. What does it mean to live blamelessly, to speak truth, to treat others well, to be a person of your word, and even how we handle our finances?
Yeah, all of those are packed into this really concise psalm. It's pretty amazing.
So let's just jump right in, okay? Verse 2 says, "Those who lead blameless lives and do what is right, speaking the truth from sincere hearts." I mean, right away, it feels like there's this really strong connection between our actions, our words, and the true intentions of our heart, right?
Yeah, and I think that word blameless, it can throw people off a bit. It's not about being absolutely perfect, like never making a mistake,
Right.
but more about having this consistent orientation towards doing what's right,
Yeah.
like striving for righteousness, living in a way where our actions and our words are genuinely reflecting what we believe in our hearts.
Like that inner sincerity is what really matters.
Exactly. It's about being authentic, not just putting on a show.
And then, verse 3 gets really specific. It says, "Those who refuse to gossip or harm their neighbors or speak evil of their friends."
That's so relevant, right? Especially in today's world where it's so easy to tear people down with our words, whether online or even just in casual conversation. It's a huge reminder that our words have real power, and how we use them really reflects our character.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not just about avoiding outright slander, but it's about fostering trust, building community. It's about recognizing the dignity of every person around us.
Well, verse 4, I think, presents a bit of a challenge for some people. It says to despise flagrant sinners and to honor the faithful. How do we reconcile that with the idea of being tolerant and accepting of everyone?
Right, that's a really good point. I think the key here is to distinguish between judging individuals and discerning actions. We're not called to condemn people, but we are called to recognize harmful behavior and distance ourselves from it.
Right, to stand up for what's right.
Exactly. And at the same time, we're called to honor and value those who demonstrate faithfulness and integrity.
And it's interesting how the second part of the verse talks about keeping promises, even when it's difficult. That really emphasizes this idea that our word should be unshakable no matter the personal cost.
Absolutely. It's about reliability, about being someone people can truly depend on.
And then we move into verse 5, which gets very practical. It talks about lending money without interest and refusing bribes to lie about the innocent. It seems like such a concrete example of how our integrity plays out in our finances and our commitment to justice.
Yeah, and what's so interesting here is the societal impact. Lending money with huge interest rates can trap people in poverty, and bribery can corrupt the legal system and prevent justice from being served.
So it's really about building a more equitable society where everyone has a fair chance.
Right, it's about looking out for the vulnerable, protecting the innocent, and upholding truth.
So if we look at this psalm as a whole, it really paints a picture of what it means to live a life of integrity, right? It's not just about one specific area, but it's about aligning our inner life, our relationships, and our actions in the world with this standard of righteousness.
Yeah, it's holistic.
Yeah.
It's not just about outward piety, but a deep, unwavering commitment to what's right in every aspect of life.
So I want to ask you, listening right now, what part of this psalm speaks to you the most? Is there one quality mentioned that really resonates with you, or maybe one that you find particularly difficult to live out? It's definitely worth thinking about.
Yeah, it's a good question to reflect on. I think this psalm really gives us a timeless perspective on what it means to live a life that's pleasing to God and that truly reflects his character.
And on that note, here's a final thought. What if you chose just one principle from this psalm and really focused on it? Say you decided to be completely truthful in all your interactions, or you committed to keeping every promise, no matter how small. How do you think that one change might impact your life and the lives of those around you?
That's a powerful question. It could really transform things, couldn't it?
Absolutely. All right, well, that wraps up our deep dive into Psalm 15. We hope this has given you some things to think about and apply to your own life.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Until next time.
See you then.